Hello Raspberry Pi adventures, welcome back to IT Samurai Teacher. My name is Sheikh Abdul. Today we are diving into the world of two-factor authentication. We'll especially focus on setting up Google Authenticator on our Raspberry Pi 5. See the Raspberry Pi 5 with me. And stay tuned because in upcoming videos we'll explore how to secure your Raspberry Pi with Duo and Microsoft Authenticator. But for now, let's focus on Google Authenticator. Something about Google Authenticator, it's free security app that can protect your accounts against password theft. It's easy to set up and can be used for a variety of accounts. Plus, it works great for Raspberry Pi 5. All the Raspberry Pi, and I have the new version, Raspberry Pi 5, so we're going to set up Raspberry Pi 5 on Google Authenticator. Okay, let's get started. Okay, we jump into our Raspberry Pi machine. First we need to do is we need to make sure which system we are running. We have Pi 5. You can see Pi 5 is this is the host name. So let's go check the system information, cat proc, and we go CPU info. If you go all the way down, you will see hardware BMC2835, revision number, serial number, and the model. So model is Raspberry Pi 5, model B, revision 10. This is how you can check your model. So now we know we are in Raspberry Pi 5. First of all, for the SSH, we need to make sure our SSH is enabled. So if you go Pi configuration, where did it go? Let me minimize this. Oh, you know what? Pi configuration all the way here. Let me bring it back here. You can see now. I'm going to use, okay, so our SSH is enabled. So this is the one we need, right? So we SSH enable, make sure it's enabled, and click OK. Now I'm going to open my. Now what we need to do, we need to find out the IP address. We use if config. So if you type if config, you will see WLAN 0. This is my Wi-Fi. So you can see this is the IP address for my Raspberry Pi 5. So this is the IP address. We're going to do the SSH. Right. We found our IP address. Let's jump into our Windows 11 client box. Okay, we jump into the Windows 11 client box. I'm using Windows 11 client box. Probably you will use Linux, Mac, or any kind of machine to SSH. So this is how we do it from Windows 11. We're going to do SSH. Remember that before we configure the MFA on the Raspberry Pi 5, we are going to open SSH session from the client computer. In my case, I have my Windows 11 machine. To make sure we have an active SSH session, just in case if you ran into any problems. If you activate the multi-factor authentication, you probably can go wrong, something happened, you did wrong. So if you have active session SSH like I have two connections, that's why I'm going to show you. Just make sure you have active connection, then you will work on the other hand to enable and test. If the test fail, you just jump into the active connection and change it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Now let's open SSH connection. In Windows 11, it's going to be easy to open SSH connection. Probably you will know the username. I believe you will know, otherwise find out how to find the username. It's very easy. If you jump into the command, you will see the first name is your username. Okay, now let's do this SSH. Oops. I'm going to use SSH, and I'm going to use my username. So Raspberry Pi username, and I'm going to put @ sign, and I'm going to type the IP address, which we find out recently, 168.86.49, and press enter. Okay, we got a message. Okay, warning, remote host identification has changed. Okay, is it possible that someone is doing something nasty? Someone could be just pinging you right now, man, in the middle of that. Okay, let me explain this. So this message is a security feature of SSH, which warns you when the remote host identification has changed. The warning serves as an alert for a situation where there might be a man in the middle attack. However, there's a legitimate reason this happened. Possibly several reasons. If the remote server was reinstalled, in my case, I reinstalled the Raspberry Pi 5 OS. So that's a legitimate reason this error pop up, because I previously SSH from my Windows 11 machine to the Raspberry Pi OS. It's SS key generated. Now I reinstalled, because I want to create this video, I reinstalled the OS. Now the Windows, so my Windows 11 box, not knowing that host file. Okay, so that's a legitimate reason for me. There's some other reasons are Raspberry Pi, like IP address change, load balancer, or you might be connected to a cluster, like a same IP address serve you as the SSH request. So how to resolve this? So first, you need to validate. Let's see, it's a production, or you are in a company or something. It's good to have those, because working with the security, it's not all about security. You need to make sure you're not going to change anything, production stuff. So validate to validate. So how to resolve this? To validate the change, right? So before making any changes, verify with your system or network administrator to ensure that the server's SSH key was legitimately changed. Now think, I am the administrator, and someone asks, hey, I get this message. I say, yes, we change because we reinstalled the server OS. So that's a legitimate. Then I will say, okay, don't worry, we install the server OS. So that's a legitimate. If you say, hey, I'm getting this error message, I didn't do anything, that's mean we need to investigate, because we didn't change anything, right? So how to fix this issue? Once you have confirmed that the change is legitimate, you can remove the old key from your non-host file, right? In our case, the offending key, let me see. Oh yeah, the offending key is the line 3 in the file C uses my username .ssh non-host. There's a two way you can remove that key. You can manually open the file in Windows Explorer, go to the path, and open with the text editor and delete the line 3. Or you can use the command I'm going to type now and remove the offending key. So what I'm going to do here is, let me put my stuff back. Okay, I'm going to let me see, it's recording, right? Okay, SSH keygen, and I'm going to R, and I'm going to type the IP address 192.168.86.49. Okay, so 1 2 3 file, right? So subdate, I'm going to again. Okay, so I want to make sure there's nothing else. So this is how you do it from the command. You don't need to go back to the Windows folder and do editing. you can do it from here. This is how you do it. Okay, we done with that. Now let's do SSH. Gonna do PI5. Gonna 92.168 86.59. Okay, now which we clear the host file. Now we get again new fingerprint. So this is what happened. The first I create a fingerprint, create a new authentication. Now once I reinstall the OS, now the server authentication change, fingerprint is changed. So that's why Windows 11 machine not allowing because it's have a different fingerprint. That's why it's giving us that Raspberry Pi giving this error. I'm going to say yes. Are you sure want to continue? Yes. Now let's put the password there. Okay, now we are in the SSH connection and it's live action. So in if config, you can see the IP address 49, and you're going to see all the folders there, and I'm going to clear. Okay, now we have SSH connection. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this session active. As I told you before, we're going to keep one is active, and I'm going to use the green command prompt in this one to do all the modification and do the testing. So now I'm going to run a code to see monitor logging connection from SSH. So what I do is sudo SSH htf. So this command is going to monitor SSHD logging in real time. So just take a note. So this is November 3rd 1458, right? So after this I'm going to take a note. I'm going to take a screenshot, otherwise it's very hard to tell the time because we're going to jump in again. Okay, I took a screenshot. Now let's Windows and Raspberry commands get confused. Okay, now we going to SSH PI5 at 92.168.86.49. Okay, password. Now let's check in. So the screenshot I took for 314. Okay, this is the one. Last I took the screenshot, right? So this is the new one, after ID. So you can say accept the password PI from one, and this is my Windows 11 client IP address. SS2 system open. Read. Okay, so everything looks perfect. I don't have any issues because now is multi-factor authentication not enabled. Okay, so now what we need to do is we're going to do our multi-factor authentication. First of all, you need to make sure you update the Raspberry Pi. Okay, sudo apt get update. So next is sudo apt get upgrade. Okay, so everything's up to date. Don't worry. Now we need to install the Google Authenticator. Sudo apt get install bpm. Okay, Google Authenticator. So this little command beginning of sourcing our PI with the two-factor authentication. So one install, it's time to configure it. Okay, so we can see it's installed, everything's good. Now use Google Authenticator. Right in here. So let's go one by one. Do you want authentication tokens to be time based, right? So when ask if you want time based authentication type, we're going to normally say yes. This is a crucial dynamic code that change periodically. So we're going to say yes. Actually, say y or no. So we're going to put y. Now code came. Okay, so make sure your smartphone's in handy with you. Okay, this is my authenticator now. I generate, and I have my Google Authenticator app open. I'm going to use this plus sign and scan the QR code. And now I need to scan. When I go closer, you can see it generated. I'm going to say not now. So this is the one. I generate for the video. I generate one again. So this is the one, and we can see the code. So this is the code we need to enter to the computer. Let's jump in. Okay, now we need to enter that code. We're going to enter 393254. Go ahead, enter, copy this everything to a notepad, and I just copy it. Make sure protect this code, backup all this code, because you need this. Come on. Okay, so do you want me to update your home PI5 Google Authenticator file? In this case, what we need to do here is use y. Okay, going to enter y. Do you want to disallow the multiple use of them as authentication token? This is restrict you to one login about every 30 seconds, but it increase your chances to notice or even prevent man-in-the-middle attack. I mean, you will have a plan. You can say yes or no. For me, I want to know best practices. I'm going to say yes. In this one, by default, new token is generated every 30 seconds by the mobile app in order to compensate for possible time skew between the client and the server. We allow an extra token before and after the current time. This allows for the time skew of up to 30 seconds between authentication server and the client. If you experience problem with the poor time synchronization, you can increase the window from its default size of 3 permit codes, one previous code and the current code, the next code, to the 17 permit code, the 8 previous code, the current code, and the next 8 codes. This will permit for time skew up to 4 minutes between the client and the server. Do you want to do so? I'm going to say yes. I mean, when you do this, probably its best idea is to go with a plan. Read it. If you implement with to a company, read it. What we need to do this is what we need to do. Talk with your manager, senior manager, all the security people, and make a plan. If the computer that you are logging into isn't hardened against brute force login attempts, you can enable rate limiting for the authentication module. By default, this limit attackers no more than 3 login attempts every 30 seconds. Do you want to enable rate limiting? I'm going to say yes. Now we are done. Okay, we almost done. The next step to secure your SSH connection. So we're going to edit our PAM SS configuration file using Nano, our preferred editor. So we're going to use sudo nano etc where's my keys, etc pam.t ssh. Okay, so in here we need to add this file. So let me PAM configuration for secure shell service. Okay, so we're going to see standard. Okay, so we're going to all the way down, include. I'm going to put a name, Google Authenticator. So what we need to do, we're going to use Auth. Google. Want to make sure there are no spelling mistakes, so I put AUTH required REQUIRD and spam underscore Google dash authenticator UTHENTICATOR. So because last time I had small mistakes, so want to make sure. So from here what you need to do here is you need to exit. You press the control and press X. Okay, so now after that, just in your keyboard press control, same time press after that X, and you type yes, just type Y, and after that it will pop up the name. Keep it, do not modify this name, and press enter. Now we change. Now next one is okay. Oops, what happened? I changed to, I went to a default different form. Okay, now we're going to put another sudo nano what is etc sshd config. Going to use this config, right? So we need to find the line with challenge response authentication and change it to yes. Okay, so we're going to okay, let's see if we can see challenge response. Sometimes you have that challenge response. Seems like I don't see any challenge response, right? So I'm going to let me find a place. Okay, in here, good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use Google Authenticator. I'm going to use sudo systamctl start. I'm sorry, what I'm doing here. You need to enable the challenge response. Okay, CHALLENGERESPONSC challenge response UTHENTICATION, and we're going to say yes. Challenge response authentication, yes. Control X, Y, enter. Good job. Now save and exit, restart the SSH service. So we're going to use sudo systemctl restart SSH. Okay, voila, we just beef up our Raspberry Pi security. The next time you SSH into your Pi, you will need your Google Authenticator code. Okay, right. So let's jump into the other one. You can see there's a lot of thing happening. Service into port 22, service into port 22. Okay, so now what we need to do here is we're going to exit CLS. Now we are done with the authentication, Google Authentication setup. Now we need to SSH, right? So that's why we have a live SSH connection without disconnect. It's running to make sure if something goes wrong, we can jump in. I mean, the production environment is good best practices to do that. I mean, just in case if you cannot do it, don't worry. If you save everything, or probably you have to do a like reinstall OS if you did wrong, or probably you can jump in, you can troubleshoot. Don't worry, I know you can do it. So let's do this SSH. I'm going to PI5 at 192.168.86.49. Ooh, you need the verification code, baby. Okay, see, I'm going to find the verification code now. I'm going to have 680 744. Ooh, look at that. I got the code. I see that. So when I see the live logs, we can see after this, we saw it after port 22, right? So this is the new. So receive disconnect from one, because we disconnect, right? We exit disconnecting, good. So after this is the new code. So we use spam Google Authenticator, accepted Google Authenticator for PI5 as user, accept keyboard interactive PAM for PI5 from 192.168.83. That's my IP address from Windows 11, port 9216/2. So port 9216 accepted. Be careful, some Raspberry Pi or in production they will block the port. So make sure the port is open. Session open for user, and depreciate reading of the user environment enable. Great, success. How about we're going to exit. We're going to do a invalid code and see what happened. I'm going to use exit. So I'm going to use SSH PI5 at 192.168.86.49. Okay, I'm going to use wrong code. Maybe 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, pass that. That's what happened. If you'll keep asking, so let's see in here what happened. Oh, see, what happened is you receive the disconnect. Okay, that's okay. Because we disconnect, that's we're going to ignore that. What happened? Unit session close for user VIP. Invalid verification code. That's good. PAM authentication failed for PI. Okay, so we see that. Try to enter invalid code, we get a error log. Now we're going to use now the correct code. Okay, so we have this. We're going to enter the code now. 693731. Yep, success. You can't see the code enter because that's a security thing. Okay, so we can see in here accepted, blah blah. Yes, great. Okay, remember this video is all about Google Authenticator, but don't worry, I haven't forgotten about those of you interested in Duo and Microsoft Authenticator. Separate tutorials for each are on their way, so be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified. setting up two-factor authentication is a critical step in safeguarding your digital fortress, right? I hope this tutorial help you strengthen your Raspberry Pi defenses. If you have any question, drop them in my in the comment section below. I love hearing from you and from everyone, and I'm glad to help everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.